Have you ever found yourself wondering, why does my energy run out halfway through the day now? Or maybe you've noticed it takes a little longer to recover from a walk, or that your memory isn't quite as sharp as it used to be. That's nothing to be ashamed of. It's part of the natural rhythm of aging. But just because it's natural doesn't mean there's nothing we can do about it. In fact, there are simple, everyday choices that can help us feel stronger, sharper, and more alive than ever, even well into our 60s, 70s, and beyond. Now, we all know that eating well, staying active, and getting enough sleep are cornerstones of good health. But there's something else, something that often gets overlooked, and that's the role of supplements. You see, even with the best diet, our bodies sometimes just don't absorb nutrients the way they used to. And with certain nutrients hard to come by as we age, a little help can go a long way. That's why today, we're diving into something that could add not just years to your life, but more life to your years. We're talking about 5 key supplements that can support your energy, brain health, bones, and even your heart. Nothing extreme, nothing complicated. Just simple, natural additions that can make a big difference. Let's start with something nearly all of us could use more of, vitamin D. You might be thinking, I get sunlight. Isn't that enough? Well, it's a little more complicated. As we age, our skin becomes less efficient at converting sunlight into vitamin D. And unless you're spending a lot of time outside, with the sun actually hitting your bare skin, chances are you're not getting as much as you think. Vitamin D plays a huge role in keeping our bones strong. And when we're over 60, we're at higher risk for fractures and osteoporosis, especially if we're not getting enough of this crucial vitamin. But it's not just bones. Vitamin D also supports immune health and may even help improve mood. You know those days when you feel a bit off, but you can't quite explain why? A low vitamin D level could be part of that story. A good supplement can bridge that gap. Most doctors recommend at least 800 to 1,000 IU per day for older adults, but it's best to check with your healthcare provider to find the right amount for you. And when you start taking it regularly, the difference can be subtle but powerful. Less fatigue, a better mood, and a greater sense of balance and strength. Now, let's talk about omega-3s. If you ever heard someone say, eat more fish, it's good for the brain, this is what they were talking about. Omega-3 fatty acids, especially those found in fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, are like gold for your brain and heart. But here's the catch. Most people don't eat enough fish to get the full benefit. As we age, we become more vulnerable to inflammation, memory loss, and cardiovascular issues. Omega-3s help fight inflammation and protect the brain structure, keeping your memory sharper and your thinking clearer. Some studies have even shown a link between higher omega-3 levels and a reduced risk of dementia. And don't worry if you're not a fan of fish. There are high-quality supplements made from fish oil or even algae oil if you prefer a plant-based option. What matters most is consistency. One small capsule a day can help protect your heart and mind for years to come. That's a habit worth getting into. It's easy to overlook how much the little things affect our quality of life. For example, have you ever stood up too fast and felt dizzy? That could be a sign that your blood pressure or circulation isn't quite where it should be. Omega-3s can help with that too, by supporting better blood flow and even easing stiffness in your joints. When I was chatting with a friend of mine, she told me she started taking an omega-3 supplement after her doctor mentioned it at a checkup. She didn't expect much, but after a few weeks, she said she noticed her joints didn't ache quite so much in the mornings, and she wasn't as foggy in the head after lunch. I don't feel 30, she laughed, but I sure don't feel 75 either. That's the beauty of small, consistent changes. They may not turn back the clock, but they can absolutely make the days feel lighter, the mornings easier, and the evenings more peaceful. Let's move on to another supplement that doesn't get as much attention as it should, magnesium. You might not think much about magnesium, but it's involved in over 300 different processes in the body. That includes muscle function, nerve health, sleep quality, and even blood sugar levels. As we get older, our magnesium levels can quietly drop, especially if we're on medications that affect absorption, like diuretics or acid reflux meds. Have you ever had muscle cramps at night that wake you up? Or trouble falling asleep, even when you're tired? That could be your body's way of asking for more magnesium. And while you can get some from food like leafy greens, nuts, and whole grains, it's often not enough. A supplement, especially one in a gentle form like magnesium glycinate, can make a real difference. One gentleman I know started taking magnesium after years of tossing and turning at night. Within a couple of weeks, he told me, "It's not like I'm sleeping like a baby, but I finally stopped staring at the ceiling for hours." That kind of simple change can improve your entire day. Better sleep means more energy, more patience, and more joy in the little things. Now that we've talked about vitamin D, omega-3s, and magnesium, you might already be thinking about how these nutrients connect to your everyday life, how they support your bones, your heart, your brain, and your energy. The truth is, supplements aren't about replacing good habits. They're about giving your body the support it needs to make the most of those habits. They're a helping hand, a boost in the right direction. And when you find the right ones for your needs, they can become a quiet but powerful part of your daily routine. Something you don't even think about, but that helps you feel better, move easier, and live more fully. You know, one of the things I hear most often is, "I just want to feel like myself again." Not like I'm trying to relive my 30s or chase after youth, but to have the clarity, energy, and confidence to enjoy the life I have now. That's exactly why it's worth paying attention to the small things, like the nutrients that quietly power everything from our muscles to our memory. We've already talked about vitamin D, omega-3s, and magnesium, which are truly foundational. But there's another one that often slips under the radar, even though it's vital for every single cell in our body. And that's coenzyme Q10, often called CoQ10 for short. Now, CoQ10 is a bit like the spark plug in your body's engine. It's what helps your cells produce energy. Your heart, your brain, even your muscles. Every part of you depends on it. The catch? As we age, our body's natural levels of CoQ10 start to drop. And if you're taking certain medications, like statins for cholesterol, those can lower CoQ10 levels even more. Think about it. If your cells aren't getting the energy they need, it's no wonder you might feel more tired, a bit slower, or just not quite as vibrant. That's where supplementing with CoQ10 can really help. It supports heart function, boosts energy, and some folks even say it helps clear the mental fog that can settle in during the afternoon slump. A woman I met at a community yoga class, she's in her late 70s, full of spunk, told me she started taking CoQ10 after her doctor mentioned it alongside her heart meds. She said it didn't happen overnight, but over a few weeks, she noticed she had more stamina for her walks, and she wasn't needing that midday nap quite so often. "It feels like someone quietly turned the lights back on inside," she told me with a grin. And I just love that description. What's encouraging is that CoQ10 is well tolerated and gentle on the body. If you're someone who wants a little more pep in your step without relying on extra caffeine or sugar, this could be something to consider. Of course, always check in with your healthcare provider, especially if you're taking medications. But don't be afraid to bring it up. Your doctor might be more supportive than you expect. As we move through life, something else we begin to notice, besides energy and joints, is our memory. It might be something small, like forgetting where you put your glasses or why you walked into a room. That happens to everyone now and then, but for many people over 60, keeping the mind sharp becomes a top priority. That brings us to the final supplement I want to share with you today: B vitamins, especially B12. Vitamin B12 plays a big role in supporting the nervous system and keeping the brain functioning the way it should. The tricky part is, as we age, our ability to absorb B12 from food, like meat, eggs, and dairy, declines. You might be eating all the right things and still come up short. That can lead to low energy, trouble concentrating, and even feelings of anxiety or sadness. And if you're someone who follows a more plant-based diet, or if you've had certain stomach or intestinal conditions, B12 is especially important to watch. It's one of those nutrients that doesn't always shout when it's missing, but when you start getting enough, it's like a light turns on. There's a man in my neighborhood, about 72, who volunteers at the local library. Always cheerful, always quick with a story. A few years back, he was feeling a little off, tired, forgetful, kind of down. His doctor ran some simple blood work and found his B12 was low. He started a basic supplement, and within a few weeks, his energy returned and his spark came back. It was like I'd been running on half battery, he said. The beautiful thing about B12 is that it's easy to take, often available in tablets or even liquid drops, and it doesn't take much to get your levels where they need to be. Some people benefit from a daily low dose, while others may need a bit more at the start. Again, checking with your doctor is key. They can do a quick test to see where your levels are. All this talk of supplements might sound a little overwhelming at first, but remember, this isn't about doing everything at once or chasing after perfect health. It's about creating a little more space for vitality in your daily life, a bit more clarity, a bit more energy, and most of all, the confidence that you're taking steps to support your body in the most natural, nourishing way possible. These 5 supplements, vitamin D, omega-3s, magnesium, CoQ10, and B12, each play a role in a bigger picture. Together, they can help fill in the quiet gaps that aging sometimes leaves behind. They're not magic pills, and they won't replace good food, movement, or connection with others. But they can be steady, supportive companions on a path to a longer, fuller life. What's most important is how you feel. Not just how your numbers look on a chart, but how you wake up in the morning, how you move through your day, how well you sleep, and how connected you feel to your own body. That's what these little habits are about, restoring that sense of balance, strength, and ease. And isn't that what we all want? To wake up and feel like today is a day worth savoring, not just surviving. To look ahead to birthdays, holidays, walks in the park, afternoons with grandkids, or quiet evenings with a book, and know we're ready to enjoy them fully. Not because we're chasing youth, but because we're honoring the life we've built, the experiences we've gathered, and the years still come. Now, if you've been listening and thinking, this all sounds good, but is it really worth the effort? Let me pause and say this. Yes, absolutely. Taking care of your health after 60 isn't about trying to fix everything overnight. It's about small, meaningful steps. And supplements like the ones we've talked about today aren't just pills in a bottle. They're tools. Tools that can help you wake up feeling more rested, stay active with less strain, and keep your mind clearer and brighter as the years go on. But here's the truth. No supplement, no matter how powerful, can replace the choices you make every day. They work best when they're part of a lifestyle that includes nutritious food, gentle movement, connection with others, and moments of joy. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be intentional. Maybe today, that means remembering to take your vitamin D with breakfast. Maybe it's picking up a bottle of omega-3s the next time you're at the store. Or even asking your doctor about your B12 levels. Whatever it is, taking that one small step can start a ripple effect. And that ripple, it can become the wave that lifts your entire day. One of my favorite stories is about a woman I met during a community health talk. She was in her early 80s, sharp as a tack and full of stories. She told me she started taking supplements later in life, after her daughter encouraged her to do something small for herself each morning. I thought I was too old to make a difference, she said. But then I realized I'm not trying to turn back time. I'm just trying to enjoy the time I have left. And that mindset changed everything for her. So if you're watching this and wondering whether it's too late to feel better, think clearer, or have more energy, let me tell you with all my heart, it's not. Every year, every season of life brings something new. And when you take care of your body, even in these subtle ways, you're saying to yourself, I'm still here. I still matter. My well-being is worth the time. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about honoring your life, your body, your mind, your story. You've carried so much. You've been through joy, heartache, laughter, and loss. You deserve to feel strong and supported in this chapter. 2. If you're feeling overwhelmed, just start with one. Choose one supplement. Learn about it. See how it fits into your daily rhythm. Maybe you already take a few of these. That's wonderful. Maybe some are new to you. That's okay too. What matters is that you're open, curious, and willing to invest in yourself. And if you found this video helpful or inspiring in any way, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Share your thoughts, your questions, or even your own experience with supplements. Let's build a space where we can learn from each other, where feeling good, staying active, and living fully doesn't stop after 60. It just begins a new chapter. And hey, if you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps more people find content like this. And if you like more videos on living well, feeling strong, and making the most of your golden years, consider subscribing to the channel. We'd love to have you as part of this growing community. Before we go, I want to leave you with a simple reminder. You're not behind, you're not too late, and you're never too old to start feeling better. Every day is a fresh chance to nurture your health, your spirit, and your joy. Whether it's walking a little farther, laughing a little louder, or just feeling a bit more like yourself, it's all worth it. So here's to you, to your strength, your wisdom, and the vibrant years still ahead. Take care of yourself, because you are truly worth it. And remember, sometimes the smallest changes lead to the biggest difference. Here's to living your best life at any age.